He's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no power. He's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no fame. He's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no money. He's got his strong beliefs. One more and more. Baby. One more and more. Just one more and more. Freedom and love. What is it for? Everybody. Well, guys, let me just tell you guys. Welcome to episode 7. I don't know if you guys heard, but there's a little team out there that we like to kind of talk about, oh, we're champions of England. We're champions of Europe. But oh, there's a team out there by the name of Chelsea that are the world champions. So, up the Chels. Hell yeah. Welcome to episode 7 of the podcast.
Congratulations.
Well deserved, Nikos.
Right.
Good job.
Well deserved.
How we doing, boys?
Doing great. Doing great.
Oh,
Great time. Great time to be an Arsenal fan.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Add the hat to the mix too. That a boy.
Yeah.
I can't put the crown. On top of the headsets. So.
Did you buy that sweatshirt that you sent in the group?
I did. I bought the World Champs sweatshirt. It looked fire.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait. You know what sucks is my whole entire Chelsea wardrobe is winter clothes. The amount of sweatshirts I have, and I would be wearing a Chelsea sweatshirt right now, but I also want to overheat and pass out when I'm just wearing a jersey and a scarf. So, but yeah, World Champs, baby, World Champs.
Great game.
Unreal game. I think what makes it that much sweeter is the fact that we were the underdogs. No one expected Chelsea to come in, but from the beginning, I just knew that Chelsea was going to win for the sole fact that PSG had to drop the ball at some point, whether it being they've won everything. They were just top dogs this whole year, and they looked unstoppable. They couldn't keep it up, and I was like, they're going to drop the ball at some point, and hopefully they're dropping the ball against us. And they did. We did look really good, so I wouldn't say PSG just completely dropped the ball because we looked good. I think this was a time for not only Chelsea fans to look at Chelsea and be like, oh shit, this is a good team, but now outside people to look at Chelsea and be like, oh shit, this is a contender. And 4 years of us wearing that world champion on our jersey is going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, my first takeaway is that it's a 4-horse race for the Premier League right now. Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Those are the 4. To me, that's top 4 locked up. I don't think anybody's getting in there. I think that's top 4, and I think all 4 have a chance, depending on who starts, well and this and that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. This was a great opportunity for us to see Chelsea's new signings, and they already proved that they were worth the money, and they already paid for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh,
it could not if I'm a Chelsea fan, it couldn't be better for me right now.
Yeah. I mean, we signed Pedro, 2 weeks ago, and he has already delivered.
He looks like he's been there for a year.
Unbelievable goals. Was a big contribution into the finals, which won us, the world championship of the Club World Final, and he's already paid for. We got him 2 weeks ago, and he's already delivered us this much in 2 weeks. And I think that this is awesome because also, I think we have a competent striker now. We have somebody that, I can, look to and be like, this is one of our guys. It's not just Cole Palmer who's going to have to try to force everything down the middle every single game. Now we have somebody he could distribute to. It opens up space. It opens up players. It opens up options. It puts less stress on one player like Cole Palmer, which we saw yesterday. We saw the fact that he delivered 2 unbelievable goals. Let's not take that away. Palmer scored 2 great goals. But on the third goal, it's okay, now we think he's going to go for a third, and he delivers a beautiful pass to a dangerous option. So now throughout the game, we're not double teaming Cole Palmer, we have somebody needed to guard João Pedro because he's a threat too. So this just opens up the game for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see a lot of that throughout the years. Like now we don't just have a one threat player. We have 2, 3. That opens up Neto on the wing. This opens up Enzo as more of an attacking role. This opens up if Liam Delap's in, maybe on the possible wing. Like it just opens up so many options. One player did that. And he's already paid for. I mean, we already won like $100-something million, so he's technically already paid for. So
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Watching Chelsea with a striker gave me as an Arsenal fan so much hope because it's like, wow, one position. If you fix one position, you actually really could fix 5 positions. Where if you have a competent striker, your now star winger doesn't need to get triple teamed anymore because now they have to have somebody in the box. And now your creative outlet who didn't do as good last year, Odegaard or Cole Palmer the back half of the year, they couldn't do as good because they're either trying to do too much or nobody's making the runs in the middle that are supposed to make. So you can't just keep going to your winger because now he's triple teamed and now you're double teamed. You don't know what to do. So to me, it's like, okay, that was like, wow, if, this Gyökeres thing, finally goes through, we should see a better Odegaard. We should see a better Saka. Now, the other wing, we should see somebody be able to, Martinelli whips and crosses sometimes, and there's just like nobody there. It's like, now there could be somebody there. So it's cool when one position could actually fix like if your defense is bad, you get a new goalkeeper, all of a sudden your whole defense is better. It's like, yeah, sometimes certain positions, you just get one guy in there.
Yeah.
And it kind of fixes that whole room.
Exactly, and we saw it with Manchester City because there were so many balls getting in the box that just weren't getting finished, and people love to call Holland a tap-in merchant, but I mean that's what he's there to do.
Yeah.
And it's and it's not like the ball's coming to him on the ground either. He's jumping up in the air and he's scoring goals with his feet higher than his head. So, the tap-in merchant thing is a fallacy, but then this past season you see the midfield for Manchester City slowing down. We get the Unks in there now now De Bruyne is gone, but we still have Gundo and Bernardo who just they're not keeping up with the speed of the Premier League anymore. And you saw Holland's goal contribution suffer for it. He didn't score as many goals. So it's crazy how that much can change the whole dynamic of a team. But yeah, it's striker changes for everyone.
Yeah,
totally does. So it's hopeful to see for Chelsea fans.
So Nikos, I got you a gift to celebrate your club world championship. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get it for you right now. So I'll be right back.
All right, this is news to me.
Beautiful. I'll say it again. I apologize for those who have wasted the first 5 minutes of watching this podcast. Now that the real show has started and real business is going on, let's begin.
Well, you said like the first 5 minutes was like a preseason tournament and that nobody really needs to tune into that.
All right, 15, 20 seconds. Congratulations to Chelsea for winning another
He said it. Clip it. He said it. No.
pointless
Cut him off there. We got the
championship.
clip. He said congratulations to Chelsea. You guys all quiet. We have the clip. Wes said congratulations to Chelsea. Thank you.
Include Nico saying we got the clip and we're going to title the TikTok, "Are the Banter Boys just clip farmers?"
Yeah.
Arsenal fan turns to Chelsea fan question?
Clipception. It's clipception. Well, Wes, so, okay, great. Now that you're here, you're going to continue to call the Club World Cup a glorified preseason thing? Is that what I heard?
It is. People say it's great because of all the money you win, and sure, it's a decent chunk of money, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a joke of a tournament. Look at the people that Chelsea played, and other than beating a PSG who came off their long, busy, successful season, they didn't beat anyone that was impressive.
Chelsea played 70 matches this year.
Okay, point being
We were
is look at
also
their
in- we were
lineup
also in
before PSG, and it's just a joke, man. They should have won every game. It's almost like a cheat code in EAFC manager mode where you basically just enter the early preseason with all the early teams, but for some stupid reason it's paying ridiculous money out, and then you're like, look at us. But
If you think
that just,
okay,
No.
here we go. I think that goes into the gamble of going into the round of 16. We could look at the World Cup historically and look at one team that's gone to the quarterfinals and had like, oh, Argentina had to play Ghana and the US and whoever. And now they got to the finals and look at that. There's so many tournaments where you could say that happens, but you can't blame it on just because we got on a lucky side of a bracket, but then we had to prove ourselves against the current best team in the world. Well, we're the best team in the world because technically we are the champions of the world.
It was a
Exactly.
it was a 1-game tournament for you. It was
And
Chelsea versus PSG.
But at the end of
That
the day,
was the
that's all
tournament.
that matters. I mean, if at the end of the day we went through a whole tournament where, yeah, sure, our lead up to the final was relatively easier compared to other teams, but we look at all these teams that struggled against, Flamengo came out and played ridiculous. Palmeiras came out and played really good. I mean, like, we're looking at Al Hilal
It's
knocking
just
out Man
not
City.
the
I
same
mean,
kind of football, though. It's not the same kind of football.
So, Wes, if it were under the same, if the Club World Cup operated the same way that it used to, when it was every year and it was just whoever the champions of CONMEBOL, UEFA, the 6 continental champions, if it were those 6 teams with the CONMEBOL and UEFA getting a bye in the first round, I would agree with you. That's not the case anymore. It's not every year. It's every 4 years. It's 32 teams. And in order to qualify, you need to either win the Champions League or be a top 8 ranked team in Europe. Okay? That's how you get your teams in. CONMEBOL, 4 Copa Libertadores winners and the 2 highest ranked teams. You can't just pick all the teams from Europe and say, let's throw them in the Club World Cup because they're the best teams in the world. Well, they had a chance to prove it in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because then you're just
And it's not a
basically having
World Cup
Champions
if it's
League
Europe.
repeat. But again,
It's not a Champions League repeat because Al Hilal knocked off City.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I agree with you that you can't just take the best teams from Europe and because that's where the best clubs are in the world, and you can't just remake that because you're just copying Champions League and calling it.
I think we were a little bit proven that the other teams came to play. I think we can't discredit these teams that showed up and gave a challenge. And who knocked out Inter?
I have no idea. I didn't watch a minute of the entire tournament.
But that just shows that like you weren't watching. Fluminense came in and knocked out Inter Milan, and Inter Milan was just in the Champions League final. You have a team from Brazil that has a 40-year-old center back in Thiago Silva leading them to a semi-final in a Club World Cup, knocking out a big team.
That to me is the legitimacy right there. And JP, you said how they changed how you qualify and when they do it, and that's a point of like that's why it's even more illegitimate. You're talking about a team that maybe snuck in 4 years ago and then have to stay at that level for 4 years. Like most of these clubs
snuck
are at
in 4 years ago, dude. They won the Champions League.
But
a team that wins the Champions League, it's in every 4-year tournament. They won the Champions League and then the 8 highest ranked teams in Europe. How many more European teams do you want?
If you did this every year, the teams in it would be more competitive and more current. What I'm saying is a club that made it because of a competition 3.5 years ago has 3.5 years not to get worse.
But
Meaning,
then you have
but you could make that argument for when Leicester City won the Premier League. Leicester City was in the Club World Cup. It'd be a joke.
Exactly.
Right? That's what you're saying.
Which is why
how else would you do it?
Sucks.
So you like the old format? 6 teams, whoever won their continent, CONMEBOL, UEFA get a bye, and it's just 3 matches that get played in the market that doesn't see a lot of big names.
I think that's in a nutshell, it's just never going to be the most competitive tournament because you're including everyone in the world, and we know that 95% of the best teams in the world
until Arsenal's in it, and then it's a big deal.
My question
until Arsenal qualifies,
dude. I'm telling you,
it's $120 million. the winner wins.
I
That's
I
huge.
pray that we make it just so you can see that I'm going to be like, I'm not crazy about the fact that we're in it. I'm glad that these players had extra weeks to recover. Someone from one of these teams, the big teams, PSG, Inter, Chelsea, is going to get hurt in week 3 or 4 of their season in August or September. And we're going to say, they haven't really had a break.
Bayern lost Musiala for we don't know how long.
Yeah,
Look,
that's huge.
exactly my point. And he's one of the best players in his league.
Listen, I think this is one of those things where I think the Club World Cup will be the second biggest tournament in soccer years to come. Because I think at every point in new creative things that people are trying to do, everyone always says it's crazy at the beginning. Then you do it.
Look at the fans that showed up.
Okay. The first few games were light because FIFA and Ticketmaster were gouging prices. They were charging hundreds.
They started at like $800.
And then they had to mandatory cut those prices. As soon as the prices got cut, we saw 80,000, 60,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 crowds. So yes, the beginning games, maybe if it was two off teams and tickets were still $100 to see random teams on a Wednesday, you're going to have games like that. But no one's going to pay $100 to go see them. The tickets got
By the
adjusted.
way, you see that in the World Cup too.
Yeah.
You see in the World Cup, there'll be 10,000 fans at a match because it's two countries that
it's a Thursday at 2 o'clock.
Exactly. It's not just exclusive to the Club World Cup that there are matches with some light attendance. That happens in every tournament.
Can I say something to Kyle?
Yeah.
The champions of the world have still not even beaten the best team in London in 3.5 years.
Okay, I'm sorry. I guess only big teams can show up against PSG, huh? Because who got knocked out in the semifinals in the Champions League this year? Arsenal.
We did beat them in the group stage though when our team was
healthy. 3.5 years since the champions of the world beat Arsenal. So you know how it's
But you guys couldn't show.
You beat the champions of the world. I think that technically.
Yeah, the PSG game we had
in your most important game, you guys didn't show up, and you guys lost to PSG.
Wrong, but that's okay.
But the pressure's on Arsenal folds.
No, actually, if you go back and watch that game, we had more XG created than they did, and we had nobody to fucking finish.
So
a ball into a net.
Statistically, you guys should have won the game.
Well, statistically, we played well, and nobody could put the ball into the back of the net because we played a DM at striker. But we'll worry about PSG next year when we see him in the Champions League, hopefully. Let's get to the best part of the Club World Cup. I know Nikos is going to say the trophy lifting with Trump was a really cool part, him still being on the stage. Good.
Debatable.
Good, but the best part was the halftime show. The halftime show, 10 out of 10. Please do that in the World Cup.
Okay, so I was debating going to this game because I live, for all of you guys that don't know, listening, I live about like an hour and a half from MetLife, and I was debating on going to the game. Chelsea's in the finals. I think it's going to be a cool opportunity to see my team play in a final game. Tickets the week before were like $700-800. So I was like, I can't justify that. The day before, tickets are about $300 something, and I was like, okay. This is manageable. We're getting close for a final game where we're like, I could maybe splurge and do it. But I just bought tickets to go to London to go see Chelsea play. So I was like, all right, I gotta pick one, Then, it's the day of and it's 9 o'clock in the morning and the tickets are like $250, $300. I was like, I could leave right now, take the train and make it to MetLife. Then it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, if I get it right now, I hop on the train, I can go to the game. But I decided, all right, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to watch the game. I'll make some food. I'll watch the game in my own environment. And then I'm sitting on the couch and halftime comes. And then no one knew who the halftime show was going to be. Then we see J Balvin, Doja Cat, and Coldplay at the halftime. That would have paid for the tickets itself. I was fuming on my couch saying, like, I could have been here. And they're in the 300s. They're in section 300 where I would have been sitting. I could have just looked over to the right and been like, oh my God, that's the guy from Coldplay right next to me. And that would have paid for the whole ticket. That would have paid for the $300. I get to see Chelsea win. I get to see Chelsea win, and then I get to see a 3-person concert right next to me. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty much fuming.
They all played their songs that are in like the newest FC game, which was awesome. But my wife was watching, and when Coldplay came on, she said, "If you told me Coldplay was coming, honey, we could have came to this match." And I was like, "Well, Arsenal's not playing, but yeah, no, thanks for that. Thanks for that, honey. Thanks."
So I guess the moral of the story is that he's not really that big of a Chelsea fan.
Well, he just spent probably 6 times that planning a trip to go to London.
Because
Wes, wouldn't you know? You just did the same thing last year.
Because I can't afford it, Wes?
I would have sold
because I'm
the
poor?
food in my fridge to go to that game. I would have canceled my next future kids' birth to happen.
Actually, hold on a second. No, Wes, we have like a real life question to ask you here because you were the best man at a wedding that we both attended this week. Would you have skipped being the best man at a wedding to go to that match?
If Arsenal was in the final,
and also he might be watching.
Said the birth of your next kid.
He might be watching. Yeah.
So you tell me.
My honest answer. No, because the Club World Cup is not important to me.
Boo. All right. I just want to jump in and quickly say, apparently to Wes, if you are poor and can't afford it, you're not a fan of your team. That's what I got from that. So unfortunately, Chelsea, I'm not a fan because I couldn't afford the tickets. That's on me. I'll scratch this tattoo off of me. I'll scratch the tattoo off of my arm, and I'll change allegiance. I actually might not ever watch soccer again.
The cracks are beginning to show. He might be switching London fan.
Kind of like Madueke. You know, Madueke played for all 3 big London clubs.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. He was Spurs.
Who's the 3rd biggest?
Yeah, Spurs. Wait, just barely. Okay, but yeah, he played for Spurs, then Chelsea, and then Arsenal. Kind of interesting. I don't know if there's anyone else that have done that. There has to be. Right? It can't be the only one.
Probably at some point.
And Arsenal's the only one who overpaid. It's incredible.
Yep. We're good at that with Chelsea. They needed help. Little brothers needed our help. They got into some hot water with some financial stuff. They said, "Listen, we need 60 million." They're like, "All right, listen, we'll give you 50 for Madueke. We'll give you 5 for Kepa. Go find $5 million from some other guy. Okay, we've done all we can do."
And then we were like, "Oh, fine. We only got 60 million in total. You know what we should do? Let's win a Club World Cup and get 140 million."
Now you're good. Now you're good. Now you're good.
Oh man. Yeah. It's a Club World Cup. What a day. World champs for the next 4 years. On our badges.
Congratulations, Nikos. You guys deserve. You earned it. You deserve it.
You beat the brakes off PSG.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate this. Wes, are you gonna say?
Go fuck yourself.
Not congratulating again.
That's great. You want to do a quick?
Still not even the best team in London. So.
I know because we're the best team in the world. Yeah. That is true. We don't lower ourselves to just one area. We took the whole area. We just said, we're not just London. We're
best changes on a day-to-day basis.
If somebody beats you this year, does that mean they're now? Is it like a WWE belt? Whoever beats you guys gets to be the best team in the world.
It's actually It's actually the 24/7 belt. Basically, any time you have a match.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
And there's no belt. It's just the patch that goes on the jerseys.
Yeah.
Like they
have to rip it off.
Take it off all the jerseys and it goes on to the next team.
Here, take it. Sunderland have the best badge. What do they got?
This just in, Wrexham is the best team in the world. They won in an FA Cup against all subs. So be like, damn it.
Yeah.
On the last day next season, Leeds is going to actually win their final match before they get relegated. And it's just going to be whoever happens to have the best in the world badge. And they're going to be going down to the championship with
That'd be pretty funny.
Club of the world badge.
8th division squad in England is now the champions. All of them are
Leeds,
16,
Yeah.
bunch of 16-year-olds and full-grown men that have jobs.
Yeah.
They beat Leeds in a Carabao Cup qualifier match.
Oh, this just in. Banter Boyz FC won a charity match, and we are now the world champions.
Yep. Oh man, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
You guys want to do quick news roundup? We'll finish this one off.
Yeah.
JP, what do you got for Man City news?
Jack shit.
Okay, next.
Nothing's
Nico.
going on. Tomorrow's Dumfries Day. We either get him or we don't.
Music to my ears.
What's your percentage? What do you think? You think you do it? Don't do it? Put a percentage.
0.75%. He's 29.
Wow.
He's 29
Why
years
is
old. He's not a
tomorrow
Pep fan.
deadline day?
That's his release clause.
His
Is
release
his last
clause
day.
is active until tomorrow.
I'd say in the Chelsea world, it's been lowering a little bit in the news. I'd say everyone that we have got, it's already been proven that we have some good players that we acquired, with João Pedro basically being a huge impact in the last 2 weeks. I think we have some potential departures. I think that Nkunku is now linked to Man U, which is
Poor United.
interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah, to be fair, I really like Nkunku. I actually hope he stays because we're seeing a lot of him off the bench, and I think he's kind of finding his foot. I think ever since we just started to replace Nico Jackson, all of the other players are getting time to play, and we're seeing like people be able to shine, which brings me to Nico Jackson. Please leave.
We already gave you guys money. Maybe next year. If he's still there, maybe we'll buy him next year from you, but we already got our Chelsea player for the year.
Maybe he goes to Man U. Maybe he goes to like Roma. Maybe he goes somewhere else. But he's definitely got to go. I don't think he'll see many minutes because we've already seen in a final game after João Pedro came off, it was Liam Delap, not Nico Jackson. So I think he's
Nico Jackson is a third choice striker.
Sure, he won his trophy. Now piss off.
Yeah.
Not in the Chelsea world. Etikake, however you say his name. TK to Newcastle. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Excited.
Did they bid 80? I saw above 70.
It was high, yeah.
Yeah.
So to see him, I know Wes.
That's why Madueke has chance to be decent business.
As we know,
when you're seeing people like that,
other than Arsenal, so we know it's shocking. He is a good striker. When it's not linked to Arsenal or it's not Arsenal, we know you aren't looking at it. So,
I'm not saying he's not a good player, but like up to 80 mil for him.
So, anyways,
well, it doesn't do anything with the Madueke deal. It does make the Gyökeres deal look really nice.
Yeah,
maybe that's the reason you guys got Madueke, because when Gyökeres starts popping off, and be like, yeah, but like we know Nani was a bust, but look at the steal we got with Gyökeres.
You know what? I can already see Arsenal fans are going to put both of those two together and be like, see, we spent $100 million, and look at how good they both have been. Together, they have 50 goals. Madueke has 1, and Gyökeres is 49. Look at how great of a deal it is for both of them.
That's just good business.
That's good business, man.
But yeah, no, I think Etikite or whatever his name is to Newcastle is going to be pretty cool. Depending on what they do with Isak, is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? I think that's going to open up a whole world of new transfer news. So, yeah, exciting stuff.
My gut says Isak leaves next year. That's my gut. I think you bring him in. You got 2 strikers for the year. You let him ease his way in, and they'll let Isak go next year. Let him go to Liverpool. I think that's where he wants to play. So.
And if you're in 6th or below, or Isak might be gone in January.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
What about Arsenal? What you guys up to?
We finished Madueke for backup winger for Saka, hopefully. We got our backup to Saliba, Mascara, from Valencia. Cheap deal there, $15 million. Plus some add-ons.
Finding a lot of backups.
Yeah, well, you know what? That was the problem last year, is that we had nobody to replace our starters. So we are finally doing deals that, like, every Arsenal fan has wanted. Like, Saka has needed a backup since Saka started playing right wing. Like Nelson was never good enough, so it's like we've been asking for one. So hey, we got one. It's a lot of money,
I'll uh,
but
I'll say the Mosquera deal. I like that one a lot.
yeah.
That's the
I
one that's like you got a guy who has the bones to be really good, and he played really well and was consistent, and he's young. He's going to get to play behind two guys that have a really good defensive partnership, and you didn't spend much for him. That's
Yeah.
that's big. I
less
think
than
that's
20 million.
I think at the end of the year, like with okay, remove him, remove him. That's going to be the one that people are saying that was the best move Arsenal did.
My favorite part about that is that we still have Jakob Kiwior. So now when we go play a Carabao Cup match, before it was like we'd have to play Gabriel or Saliba, and Kiwior would just replace one of them. You could only rest one at a time. But now we can play Mascara and Kiwior as our center back pairing. And now it's like, okay, now both get rest. Instead of trying to choose, it always was like, okay, well, Saliba got rest the last time. So now it's Gabriel's turn. And it's like, well, now it's like, oh, for, you know what I mean? Like, we could give them both a rest for a big Champions League match, or you know what I mean, whatever. So that's huge. Jokeres is almost done, still going through add-ons, but that should be done probably in the next couple days here. And then it's on Eze and Rodrigo. Those are the last two names that kind of keep getting brought up. The Eze one is probably the more likely one. He does have a release clause. I think it's 67 pounds or euros. I forget. So I think Arsenal asking, hey, can we just do that in installments instead of all at once is kind of the talk. So that'll be interesting if they get that. Then we gotta do some sells. Zinchenko, Trossard, Nelson, Lakonga. He's got to go. So those couple guys we got to sell.
I agree with JP. I said it in our Arsenal group chat earlier today. I said I think my favorite deal of the offseason is actually Mosquera. It has the same feel as Saliba, where you get them before they're too expensive. You know that they have big potential. I think the only negative is I see him being the reason why a Gabriel or Saliba goes to a PSG, Barcelona, or Real Madrid in 18 to 24 months if he really can grow and adapt to the EPL quickly. So I see that happening as the only downside. It's an amazing signing. To add to Kyle, here's why: if you're an Arsenal fan, this is why I'm still so optimistic and I'm not destroyed by we're this close, we're this close. We have not hit the ceiling yet. So things are still getting better. We're getting Jokeres. He gave up 2 million in wages to be where? In the red of North London. You have Mosquera, who turned down an increase from his current club and Series A teams to once again be in the North London red. You have Norgard, who maybe more mindset wise is a strong addition, who was crying tears of joy watching his family wear the Gunners badge. And this might be the first time in the Premier League era for this club that we sign 6 starting 11 squad members. So it's still getting better for this club. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
I think I do agree with the Mascara thing. One of the things I forgot to say though is one of the things you're not gonna like about Mascara, which is well, one of the things that Premier League fans are gonna love and Arsenal fans are gonna, still have their conspiracy theories about is Mascara is a very aggressive defender, and as we know, Arsenal players are very aggressive and see a lot of yellow cards. And he saw 6 in La Liga last season. I think he'll see more than that in Premier League if he plays as many matches. And it's just going to keep the Arsenal fan conspiracy theories rolling that the league is against them.
yeah. I think Arsenal business. I think we still need a left winger. I think Eze kind of ticks 2 boxes because he could play left wing and he can replace Odegaard. So if you you keep Bartonelli, and you're like, okay, kind of push that off. Hey, that's next summer's big thing is we need a left winger. Eze kind of does both. I mean, if they do Eze and Rodrigo, that's unbelievable. That's an unbelievable window. That's even if they just get any left
Kyle.
winger with Eze.
I don't know where they have the money for both of them. So.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Keep
I
dreaming.
don't think it's possible. But if they do Eze and then another left winger on top of that, that might be Arsenal's best window ever.
Best case, we get Eze, and like you look at the starting lineup with Raya, Lewis Skelly, Gabriel Saliba,
Timber.
Rice, Zubamendi, Odegaard, Gyökeres, Saka, Eze.
Yeah, no, that's.
I don't know
Sounds like
what
second
games
place
on
to
the
me.
schedule. I don't know what games on the schedule
third.
they should be losing. Excuse me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I wanted some starting 11 players. I wanted some players that could come off the bench that were trusted by him. There's so many games where it's like you could tell Saka was dead out there, and it's like, well, I can't sub him off because whoever I put on can't score a goal. So even the 1% chance.
Did Madueke play any Club World Cup games or even travel with Chelsea?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy that he left before the final also. You know?
So if we're getting players that are just backup for us, that are helping teams win these world championships, like
As
again,
you
that's
stated earlier, you have not watched any games. He did not help us at all. I know.
he
Like
also
I
didn't help
said,
you lose.
We didn't find. He didn't help us win. I can tell you that. I know you don't watch any other games other than Arsenal, so I could tell
That's
you.
not true.
He does not help us. He did a lot of damage to us as a team. He's a very selfish player. He's a very hero mentality player. He'd rather try to beat 6 people than pass it off and do a give and go or something like that. He'd rather take a 30-yard screamer than look for the open man. So I do think he did a lot
So
of
what you're
damage.
saying is he plays like RJ when we play pro clubs?
Yes, maybe a little bit. I also think he just hasn't. Oh my God, it is late. This guy has not had as good of a coach as Arteta, so I think our Arteta is going to be able to tweak this guy and make him even better.
1 year. What has Maresca done in 1 year? He's changed this club around.
He's
Spent
won
$2
one-
billion.
Brother to be a world champion.
He's
Maresca
won-
alone did that?
Maresca did one thing. He beat PSG in a preseason tournament.
He brought us back into the top 6. We won a European trophy. We won the Club World Cup. See, it's terrible because it's not even like realistic to debate with you because these are huge accomplishments for a team that was sanctioned 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think Maresca spent more money than Arteta though.
You
Low-key.
spent
Like, they're
$2
probably pretty close.
billion in 18 or 24 months, and you have a goddamn Conference League trophy to show for it. I would
In
be
24
ashamed.
months? Do you have the
I would
numbers
be
in front of you?
ashamed if we
Do you
spent
have
that
the
much.
numbers in front of you where we can show you in
Well, I think
18
last
months?
year they spent like 630.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, Chelsea won more money than Arsenal did this season.
No,
I mean, if you threw us in
100
Europa
for,
League, we were winning Europa League last year. So we again put Chelsea up in Champions League last year. They weren't making it to the quarters, the semis. I think they would have struggled to actually get out of the initial table
I mean, we
phase.
beat PSG in the Club World Cup, and you guys couldn't do that. So,
Well,
like
we
I
did.
said, you had a one-game
We did early on in
tournament
the group stage. We beat
preseason.
them.
when it mattered.
Well,
Big
that
time.
game did matter. When we
This
played
was
them.
also back when PSG was not doing well in the group stage and barely snuck in to the knockout rounds. PSG wasn't great at the beginning of the season. It took them a while to get their feet underneath them, and when they did, this PSG midfield is one of the best midfields I've ever seen play. It's not even close. PSG's midfield was unbelievable.
Yeah. we should go through the new changes to the Champions League and how, I mean, my personal opinion, how great they've been. I like the new league setup and kind of where you finish. Like this half gets a bye, this half has to play each other to see if they go further.
You say that until Arsenal doesn't get a bye and someone gets hurt in that match, and you guys get pissed about it.
No,
No.
no. I think that setup works.
It's easy to say now. It's easy to say that now.
You limped into just moving on to the next stage. You left it to the last game week, I think.
Yeah, but I think that it made it for more. You know what I mean? Like Liverpool played fantastic in the group stage. You know what I mean? And then couldn't do anything after that. You know, like you said, PSG barely snuck in and ended up winning the whole thing. I think it makes for more drama. The only thing I don't like is the people that get kicked out, they don't go to the Europa League, because now it makes that competition way worse, because that competition used to get people that were in the Champions League, and now you know what I mean? It lowered the quality of that trophy because they're only getting the seventh, the sixth best team out of a league, and there's not like Barcelona dropped down into the Europa League, so you actually have to beat a Champions League team to win that Europa League trophy. So I wish that maybe like say if like this bracket of people, are eliminated, maybe the top half of those go to Europa, like 5-6 teams, whatever, something like that. Not all of them, but
Mm-hmm.
Just a super quick question on the transfer stuff, though. I just wanted to ask. I'm asking genuinely, if Arsenal do sign Eze, did they have the best transfer market offseason in the league?
We still got another month and a half of the window, so I don't know.
Well, I also think it's too early to tell because we have to see it translate to success. As of success,
sure, but before the season starts, was it the best business? I guess is my question. When the time comes.
When the time comes, yeah. But we have to when it comes to success wise. I mean, I feel like, yes, I know you don't think it's a real tournament, but we signed one player and we already won a big trophy. I know you don't think it's a big trophy, but one player that we signed 2 weeks ago already had a huge impact into our team. So we've already seen success with one player that we brought in. So I think in the first few weeks of the league, if you guys are coming out guns a-blazing, Gyökeres already has 5 goals, Zubimendi's crushing it, then we could be like, yeah, you guys had the best transfer window. But it's early to tell. No one's played.
Wes is just a big fan of instant gratification.
Do you say we're nervous?
No, I mean, I think at the end of every transfer window, there are the quote-unquote winners and losers. And obviously that changes at the end of that next year and the year after and the year after. There's windows where you're like, oh my God, they had such a good window. Like the Spurs window like a few years ago, everybody's like, oh my God, they did so good. And they didn't do anything at all. I think even last year, Spurs were quoted winning the window, and obviously, not a great season. So I think at the end of the window, we can definitely do our picks of the best, who had the best window and who had the worst. I already know who's going to have the worst, but because that's easy.
Man, you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and the fact that Mbuenu hasn't signed yet just means that he literally told his agent, like, listen, this is the last big move I'm going to get. Why don't you just tell them that I want some stupid high wage and I'll just wait? And that's exactly what's going to happen.
You know what would be really interesting, and I could maybe see it playing out, is somehow Mbeumo not working out for Man U and them going after Vlahovic for like 70 mil.
Oh, that would fucking ruin him. They wouldn't score a goal next season.
Yeah, he's actually trying to get his contract terminated by Juventus so he can go somewhere else. And they're also looking at like Calvert-Lewin.
Man U thing.
They're looking at Calvert-Lewin to be their starting striker. Oh, man.
I know Arsenal get shit for basically not signing a striker. At least we're not signing strikers every 18 months to then be like, we still need a striker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it just
At
goes
least
back to that whole theme of the Banter Boys podcast, which is Arsenal have no balls. Don't have the balls
What?
to sign a striker. You don't have the balls to sign a striker. We're still
Okay,
waiting
come
on a here
back
we
and
go
call
on
me.
Gyökeres. We're still
Okay,
waiting on a here we go. This has been
give it 24
the
hours.
never-ending
Give it
story.
24 hours. You looked at me 48 hours ago in a van and said, "Haha, the deal's off." And now you're shitting your pants after you told me that he ruined your club last year in Champions League.
Well,
I know you're nervous.
if he's
I
wearing an
know you're
Arsenal badge,
nervous.
I'm not concerned about him.
Yes,
You know how I feel about Holland.
because JP and I, by the looks of us right now, we are spewing nervous energy and looks right now.
let me ask you a question.
Listen, I've been drinking alcohol nonstop for days. My fingers ain't shaking.
Let me ask you a question. Who would you want to see the least at Arsenal for striker position of all the strikers that are available? Like, realistically, is there a name you're like, okay, as long as it's not that guy?
I think comparison-wise, like as to players that we've seen in the Premier League, Isak would be the one that makes the most sense. As to be like, I'd be a little bit shaken up if you guys got him, just because I'd be like, okay, well, Isak played really well for Newcastle, and then we know he knows how to play in the Premier League. We know he has a history of the last few years performing consistently against the top English teams. For me, it would be that Gyökeres. Yeah, he looks really good on paper. He did good in a league where it's hard to tell, what the outcome is going to be, but he just hasn't done it yet. Also, he's failed twice in the Premier League. So
yeah.
Well,
I think it's Gyökeres.
I looked that up, and he didn't fail in the Premier League. He had like 5 games. He just never had the chance.
Yeah, he
played a
just
couple
couldn't
of like
convince the
FA
manager to
games
get him
or
in the starting
something.
lineup. Sounds like failing me if you can't convince your manager to get you in the starting lineup.
And then
Well,
he went
he played
to
under
Portugal.
21s at Brighton.
And then, well, so in terms of who I'm most scared of, like as a goal threat, it's Gyökeres. But I think like the guy that I would say would probably have the biggest influence on Arsenal in terms of like things that have gone wrong for Arsenal over the last couple of years. Rodrigo's so versatile. He could play on the left. If Saka went down, he could play on the right. If your big name striker went down, he could play in the middle. And he could create for himself. So Rodrigo, I feel like if you had a big injury next season or someone forced their way out, like Rodrigo's the guy who would keep you competitive for the trophy. Will be competitive, but to stay competitive to win the big game, I think Rodrigo would be the guy who would do that.
Okay.
If only it was ever likely to happen.
Every time there's like a news about it, I'll send it to the
You made it open ended. You made it open ended. It's not going to happen, but you made it open ended.
It will never, ever, ever happen. I have a higher belief in the second coming of Jesus than I do of a link with Rodrigo.
Listen,
it's not going to happen, and I feel terrible for Kyle that he's been like going down this hole. Buddy, call 211. We can have a conversation.
Listen, I already figured it out too. Deadline day, loan with an obligation to buy Rodrigo. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
And then you're going to wake up from your dream.
But it's going to be somewhere.
Then you're going to wake up from your dream and realize that Madueke is in our starting 11 on Man U opening day.
Yeah, I just don't want him to play left wing, and then I'm okay with the deal. If he plays right wing and covers Saka, I'm okay.
All right, so instead of beating this Arsenal transfer dead horse bullshit that we beat every day, how about another topic, Kyle? There was one transfer that has quite the saga going on in the Premier League that I know you were really enjoy talking about.
Morgan Gibbs-White, I think, is so fascinating. He apparently had a secret release clause of $60 million where both player and agent and team could not disclose that he had this release clause. But if anybody ever made a bid over 60, they would have accepted it and let him move. Spurs put in an offer for exactly $60 million. Which now they're thinking, oh wait, well somebody told you, probably the agent or player, hey man, just offer 60. That's the deal to make. Because if everybody knew that, I think City would have bought him 2 weeks ago for 60.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
told us 100.
Yeah.
Spurs told us 100.
So
Allegedly.
now there's
Allegedly.
all, legal things going on of can the transfer be stopped because they, violated a contract? I don't know what's going to happen. I think ultimately they'll let him go, but it's a very, very interesting saga. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
He was at training today for Nottingham.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It probably is Man U proxies that are trying to force the case to happen because they got played again after Rice. Now Gibbs White. They can't even convince people to come to the club anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah.
JP was like begging last year that Gibbs White was this incredible player, which he is, but as if he needed him at Man City, and he doesn't even want to go.
Well, no, I said I'd love to have Gibbs White at City as a De Bruyne replacement, and then instead of doing that, we spent because we were told allegedly
Yeah.
the release was 100 or the price was 100 million. So instead, we went and got Reinders and Cherokee in the midfield, and I'd rather take those two than Gibbs White.
If you knew Gibbs White was 60, would you have done that?
Yeah.
I think you would.
He's so I'm on the fence. He's English, so yes, neither of them are.
Yeah.
Checks another box.
Yeah, for 60, I think every team would put it in offer. You know what I mean?
Like, we'll see how Reinders and Cherokee works out in the midfield.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was an interesting one. Also, Wes, Waneri contract should be soon as well. Forgot to mention that. So we should.
That's why I can't see them really signing. I'd almost be surprised if Gyökeres was kind of it. Hate to say it, but and then if that's the case, they probably keep Trossard.
Yeah. Looks like almost everybody's kind of done buying of like the big six. Like they've kind of like, Arsenal's got, 2 moves here to finish up. And then it's like everybody's going to be like, okay, let's all sell now.
Now it's the scraps. Now it's all the other teams like, okay,
yeah, it's like, okay, Brentford. Yeah, and Fulham. All right, we're ready. You guys could come and grab our, fringe players.
When is the deadline day? Because I feel like it moved in recent years.
End of August.
Yeah, last day of August. At first, they wanted it to be the start of the season. They wanted it to be August 16th. But then they were like, well, no. Because they couldn't get... They wanted all the leagues to do it. But it then wouldn't have worked if the Premier League just shut down August 16th. And then you could still lose your player August 18th. And, you know what I mean? To a different league. So now it's just
makes
the end of
fantasy
August.
so difficult.
It does make fantasy so difficult. So difficult. Because it's like you almost think you want to lose that first week so that you get a better
and then
waiver
like we know historically there's somebody in our league that one year he picked up Harry Kane and Mitrovic in the first in his like first 2 picks, and then Mitrovic went and left his team, and then Harry Kane went to Bayern. So do you guys remember who that was by chance?
And then he found an excuse to not play the next season.
I can't remember.
For the record, I think I came in like 3rd or 2nd place at the end of the season table, which is
it was Wes. It was you.
Just like Arsenal, you throw the absolute kitchen sink at them, and they still almost scrape out on top.
What is that? Oh yeah, baby.
Oh
yeah. I have to present this to Dylan.
It's just waiting at your
house. What
are
the names on it?
Somebody.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Wes, first winner.
Oh.
Nick, back to back.
Oh.
Nikos, you're on there with Nick. Hold on. There's no JP.
No. Sorry, Kyle. My name and your name will go next to each other, buddy.
We're even thinking about doing a little draft day vlog here for the draft, so you guys can stay tuned for that. Do our fantasy draft.
Hell yeah!
Beautiful.
All right. Well,
to put a ribbon on this episode, thank you guys for listening. Chelsea, world champions. Let that sink in. And we'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share to your friends.
London's red.
Peace.